Welcome on in, everybody. We have got the Spring 2024 Valorant Conference Qualifiers by VESL. 300 plus high schools are competing across the state of North Carolina for a chance at $45,000. Today, we're here with the Wake County, and I, Pirate J, am here with Hail Monkey Man to take you through the Valorant action. Hail, are we ready to get into it?
It was a spicy fall semester and state championship of competition, but of course we can't leave that one. Well, we can't leave that one behind. But heading to the spring, we got to get heated up here, Pyro, as we go into VESL and these awesome counties and all of the schools that are in them. The great state of North Carolina going to bring all that talent. I get to see it at the forefront. There was a lot of hyped parents, a lot of hyped students, and you know that these students are ready for maybe a comeback season to really end out this entire semester.
Yeah, you said from fall to spring, we're going to be warming up. We got a lot of people excited about it. You can already tell I'm nice and warmed up, Hail Monkey Man. I got Breeze behind me, one of the Valorant maps here. I'm kicking it back on the beach right now. You got to join me sometime. But will these players be kicking back, or will they be going forward to the top 8, folks? Because that's the format that we're starting here with Wake County. It is a group stage, meaning, Hail Monkey Man, there's going to be a lot of high schools in this Wake County playing against each other, but only the top 8 out of this group stage survive.
It is a very tough gambit to run. Getting to see it last semester go around and seeing the entire state. We opened up with CMS last year, and then now seeing how all of these counties and all these ISDs are really bringing in some of their best talent. And now that they have that sample size of what they were able to bring to that regional and then the finals thereafter, you know that they understand this is a tough product to have to run through. But the good news is it's a group stage. Instead of just running the gambit in a big double elimination bracket and praying that you make it through, you get groups. So we're going to see what they can get. I think it's somewhere around kind of a round robin situation. So just be top 8 and then you can really qualify for the big competitions.
Just be top 8. Just click heads. That's what we're here today to do in this Valorant Conference Qualifiers for VESL. So if we're here to do that, I say we get started, folks. For our first match of Wake County today, we have Holly Springs versus Southeast Raleigh High.
Of not only the Sky, which is a very powerful agent all its own, but as well as the Gecko. So they're aiming for some of this very just tight around the corner, go and fist fight to death sort of mentality. But I want to know how that really works when your main smoker is gonna be this Clove, which is also aiming to get just as melee driven as we've seen before.
I want to see those melees come out. I want to see the big damage and the combos come through. The double initiator can be so lethal on these maps. And Oh, we're taking a look at every one of these players to get started here for map number 1. It's only a best of 1, so this is the map you gotta win if you want to start with that winning record here for the Valorant Conference Qualifiers of VESL. We're all started here, and, you know, famously on split, Hell Monkey Man, we've got a split on the attackers for Holly Springs. They've got their options beckoning before them.
Yeah, it's a move up mid. Very quickly putting your
spike down mid.
Bad situation. So Sith is actually able to get 1, make it 2 as both of your initiators fall. So that's gonna be some big blinds.
Last player standing.
They're trying for some very swift returns. This is a defense out of Enloe that is finding mega product, and now you just have one lonely Cypher to try and take on the rest of the world. They do get 1 pick and they work for their spike, but they have to take it from all sides, simply stepping into the roofs. And well, it was a 2v1. They couldn't come out the other side.
And to me, that default was set up to really poke and prod your options. You can either go for a fast fury on round 1 with those pistols, or you can scout out where is best to go. I feel like not enough poking, not enough prodding was done to ensure that that heaven take on the B side was going to be safe. And Enloe, well, they were the better of it.
Yeah, that one was, it's one of those where you have to take stock. All right, where is our spike going to travel? That, of course, when you look at these high schools and how some of these teams are also finding themselves kind of learning the games that they go into, you just simply don't put your spike in a bad situation that deep in enemy territory to stuff on this way across. Now, putting out the controllers, there's a lot of extra pressure, and they still go, and now actually have the chance to pick up a weapon, as this was a buy-up round for the side of Inlow. Already found a great first pick. They make a lot of sound as if they're going to move over to A. And the paranoia is going to catch at least 1 poking through, still on the cam. They're going to make sure that they know they're coming from heaven. It looks like they're just going to flood on down.
Yeah, it's time for the flood to persist, for the waves to crash, and I think, no, the element does go down on the side of Enloe, so this looks all too possible for Holly Springs, despite this being their save. Good kill onto the boombot, but that raise did not take damage from their Twins utility. Oh, the Cypher was not keen to that play. Spectres could still reign supreme, but a lot of long distance fights to be had. The trades come through. The Gecko sneaks from behind with the Sheriff to win the round for Holly Springs.
That is such a eco break, and it's something where if you decide to reinvest even off of a previous lost pistol round into the Sheriff, if you can simply do what we said at the beginning here, Pyro, and click heads, then you can cause an eco break. And so this is actually going to be massive for the side of Holly Springs, considering the loss of that early pistol. Now they can work into a bonus or simply buy up, and that forces Enloe to make a decision. It does look like they are going to be buying at least 1 hero rifle, but the rest is just broken economy. Maybe they're going to step back from that, recognize that they need to put some credits back in their pockets because they don't want to fall for too long, considering what some of these picks could turn into, and they don't want to leave some of these bodies behind along with their weapons.
Tell you what they are leaving behind. They're leaving behind that spike you mentioned earlier. They want to put that in a dangerous spot, and while they haven't, Sith finds themselves in a bad spot and pinch while they find themselves in just that, as Heaven looks to be the take once again for Holly Springs. Spectre is spraying, but it finds nobody. Phoenix on the cloves, able to get the kill with that rifle, but look at that Cypher just hanging out so patiently, so quietly on the side. Will Beastrim find a kill? No, clearing every angle is Phoenix.
Beast simply sitting behind that box and living by the mentality, if I can't see them, they can't see me. Just hoping that it kind of pans out that way. But Pluto right around this corner is going to be going possibly into a duel against their doppelganger. But this is full site control. If you're Enloe, you're aiming for creds, maybe some exit frags and seeing what you can find with it. They do reconvene. They have no idea that that is just going to be a typical shot as they simply stay nearby. Hey, that's at least 1. You get it off of a ghost, but you're not going to make anything extra from it. They take 1 gun off the field, but Holly Springs comes up big.
Come up big, and maybe coming up bigger here is Enloe on the next round. They were able to do enough damage to get at least 1 kill. Go for that eco round to make sure they can buy up here. So it's going to be our first full buy sequence for both teams, Hell Monkey Man. And automatically, we might see a shift from Holly Springs. They've loved mid so far. Do they go for it again?
I mean, you have to continue to test it. Split, sadly, is really lended to, all right, territory control and having those pathways, as soon as you've lost or gained mid, you are either much weaker or much stronger. So they're at least going to test those bounds, and I'm not at all surprised that we're at least getting somewhat of a default. You have a kind of a 1-2-1 or 1-3-1 split right now. Haha, right? Maybe put them a 2-2-1, as you do have the lurking sentinel of that Cypher. Feather's going to down check the ramp for that, but they're leaving that spike lended over to B because that seems to be the slightly easier entry point. Now, they are delayed because of the dark covers, but it's just about how can they get through some of this extra utility, and that ruse keeps upticking, so that means they're still looking for some of those trends out in mid, but they got to start looking here for this last minute.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining here. What is going to be that decision exactly?
I got the spike.
Part of Holly Springs' strategy could as well be to see if Enloe get, you know, a little bit antsy, start to move forward. And there's a free pick for Holly Springs, but it looks like they're patient as needed. However, Ropes is about to get tied up. A is the choice here. And Crowfeather, do they realize what trouble
30 seconds
they may
left.
end up in? I can see Phoenix on that Clove already peeking near heaven. And yes, Crowfeather does go down, but the judge gets the response. Clove comes back for the kill, though. And that is huge for Phoenix to keep the numbers up.
Really is, but look at where the spike ended up. It's at
10
B.
seconds left.
After all of the pull and all of the activity to be able to force the rotation from those that were at B to begin with, they make sure Beast is simply not present. So they're not able to activate from off of their cyber cages they were chasing in after from their Omen. And this was all of a decoy play, the long con, if you will, into this 2v5, trying to finish
Last
with a
player
flawless. If
standing.
you are Inlow, well, now with only one left, maybe look for the save. Not gonna be allowing that to happen. Holly Springs comes up with a flawless 3-1. Big brain play. They double rotated that round.
Big brain play, big tension play. I don't know. That time was sticking a little too close to 0 for me to see when that spike would be planted. But if you're Enloe at this point, what do you believe? What do you assure yourselves of? Even if you hear sounds on one site, it is no guarantee that Holly Springs are going to choose that side.
Yeah, not at all, no. And I feel like if you're waiting that long, that means that everyone's starting to want to bite a little bit too fast, and they're looking for activity. And it's not like you have to go and pursue where Holly Springs is, but you're also hoping that you can still activate well enough to find some of these big picks. Seeing this eco right now, Pluto Air is going to be the most active participant moving around this map because they are the duelists. Got to get value out of this raise to begin with. What a dodge, by the way. that Boombot just went by, and they were just hanging out on the rope.
I love it. I love it. So sly, so slick, and still just hanging in there with trying to get a pick, but it's not gonna happen. We got a sewer run through, and I think Crowfeather might be calling to action, saying, "Team, I got a lot of traffic, and I'm flashed off as well." Sithmore gets all of that traffic, goes down, and that A hit's gonna be a success for Holly Springs.
This is the first time that they've actually gone to A. They've tested B, even flanked over to A, and then came back to B. But look at this potential flank as well, as you have Pluto going all the way up into Ropes, and they're going to try and subvert expectations. No, actually, Pluto is part of this game right now, as they actually have the showstopper. If you can get big value out of that ultimate, they may be able to lead in with it and get something going, but they got to roll hot and heavy. The paranoia comes through. That's a lot of blinded players, but they're swinging right around corner. Furious going to retreat. And there's a trade of blows from distance. Spark comes up huge, and then Furious finishes it off against Beast in screens. Now this was an eco here, Pyro, but Holly Springs, those rounds are never assured, but it was sure for them.
Right, it's an eco for Enloe, but it's never a for sure win, as we're kind of alluding to, right? You still got to play your cards right. After you plant that spike, you still have to hold your ground, and I think Holly Springs did that incredibly well. They played together. They utilized their cipher cages to hold the choke angles really well and pop out at the right time. Really like the coordinated effort we're seeing from Holly Springs. I mentioned A-site was a quick hit. This time it's another time they get stalled by that fault line, and Hell Monkey Man, I half expected them to actually push into it, but Crowfeather does get a kill with the aftershock.
Yeah, this is what a read to overload the pipeline into A. That was a great read considering that there was now speed brought into it. This game and the Valorant as a whole has changed because of pace. You're seeing that uptick of execution being necessary to be understood, considering Clove coming into agent meta territory. But now, still waiting on it. You do have that flashpoint. They blind him out, and actually, by virtue of the side, are able to survive. They get one from distance, and a flawless round here for Feather as they survive on site and are good for 3.
Feather does find 3. We talked about the first one from the Aftershock on the read from the A site hit, but that last one was somehow dodging the Raze ultimate by flashing them, not allowing for them to get an accurate kill out of it, and then hitting the head tap onto Pluto Air. I'm seeing some rivalry at this point right now between that breach of Crew Feather and Spartan. Excuse me, Spartan was that Raze they took down. Unbelievable.
Spartan has been pretty effective so far, 6-3 right now. There's just kind of second only behind, I believe, their Clove. I'll down check that going into the next round. But otherwise, we go back to kind of default territory. It's a 3-1-1, keeping them honest here out in mid. And that's something that has been a little bit different. You see Onster drop early. They dropped early in the previous round, which is really what kind of started them. But Nash is going to be able to find one, uses the neural theft, and they want to know what numbers they're dealing with. A is completely wide open, and they're going to know that off the neural theft, but it looks like they want to put still more pressure here in mid, and Nash is going to try and help out, but they're about to get done as well. Can they survive the first? They don't on the second.
I like that from Nash, though. At least find one on that double swing. But unfortunately, reinforcements are thinning here for Holly Springs. Just 2 left here at mid. Pluto and Phoenix scaling together. There is that... excuse me, Spartan. Again, I keep getting those Rays mixed up, but they are still looking at that B site. Oh, they're going to be scouted there by the Fade Prowler and the Nightfall. They survive it with 1 kill on the Beast Rim. And Phoenix is just trying to get that plant down so they can play for it after. Still an explosive entry from Pluto Air, but they get down and they take care of business. Everyone falls as Holly Springs stays on it.
Fantastic execution by Holly Springs. They knew that they could travel away. They didn't have the numbers to have to worry about when going to a site. And in fact, quite often it's been just Beast kind of sitting onto B. So they knew after getting rid of Pinch that they pretty much had either a 1-1 and someone hanging out in the defensive side spawn, or there'd be a 1-2 somewhere, and they gambled. And they gambled right. So they ended up transitioning over into B, took over site, really made great value of that Nightfall, and won the early execute, and then became a 2v2 that they simply didn't shy away from. And they're not shying away from mid. This is exactly the kind of game that they need to play, and maybe something that is going to come up big, especially for Inlow later on. But right now, Holly Springs, this is the game plan. It's working.
It's really swinging in their favor as well, because the last time, that is where they went down. Onster, you talked about that person being the victim of the first blood. Right. That was when they fell there at mid. So instead, they trade fire, end up with that first kill. Still a patient display from Holly Springs as they leave the spike behind and test the waters of heaven. Good kill on the pinch there. It's another kill, and they're committing to the site take as well. Beastrim finds themselves playing site alone once again. May not survive the firefight on the site, and certainly won't. It is an available site now for Holly Springs to trounce on.
Little Air find value right now. They get on stir, and so they're going to reconvene with their teammates. It becomes a 2v4, a much more winnable venture. You actually have a 2v5 if they have the 9 that get activated. Don't need it. Phoenix good for another, and good for 3. Feather and Pluto hitting the ground, dying, as it becomes 6-2 here for Holly Springs. And they've really been very patient and honestly super confident about whatever side they're going to. And Inlow, it's even as Split seemingly has gone more defensively minded, it seems that they're just kind of on the other end of stuff. We gotta see what they can do for maybe playing for retake. They do have a big breach to come back with.
Oh, I'm completely on that side, because right now they're the victim of the first blood on and on again, and you'll see the Sentinel on the B site get caught alone on site too often. Maybe giving up that site, maybe playing for retake, and as you alluded to, that Rolling Thunder can be huge in that scenario. see if that is the case. Crew Feather, maybe not playing for that retake, maybe playing to get that first blood themselves, but deciding to scale back.
I mean, they're the only one that has a hero moment available to them because they're the only one with Bulldog. Everyone else is either hanging out with Pistol or maybe even a shorty here with Sith. So they've really corralled mid, and they're waiting for much of that regular incursion that's been conditioned here from Holly Springs. So Inlow is just not going too far out. Feather is seeing a lot of gadgets, and they're getting distracted by it. But it may be a solid kind of key, a hint as to where much of this real hit is coming. They're going to swing out for that corner down check, and they're not going to win this incursion either, as Nash simply had the better rifle at the time. Bench, going to have to teleport away. They at least get safe for the moment.
Safe for the moment, but just seen there in heaven is going to become the victim of the Vandal.
One enemy
Tough
remaining.
Fight there to win with the gun disadvantage, and suddenly Pluto finds themselves alone. Sheriff head tap, and two actually. One of the Nash as well as Phoenix, but eventually falling. And I will say, credit to Pluto finding those two, bringing them up to 10 kills. Unfortunately, not the round win for him.
They just couldn't swing a third time. They're like, poof, poof, too late. There's too many weapons that are auto, you know? But yeah, they're the ones that's honestly keeping this team afloat. We have 4 ultimates. We have 7 ultimates on the field. 1 away for Nash if they really want to get their neural theft online. And the only one that really would kind of spell some difference, even in a bigger way for Inlow, is if they had the Nightfall available. But I gotta see if maybe that spells the difference. Playing for life. They've been patient. You saw Feather really being far back. Phoenix gets 2 though. They get rid of Pluto and Pinch, and that's been rough for Pinch because they've not really been able to stay alive for late term rounds.
Yeah, they got excited about getting rifles again, and then suddenly they're out of their hands because they're out of the round. That's a tough go here, especially with all those ultimates available in such an important round. To lose 2 of your members so early on. Now it's about the B take here. Sithmore wants to play site, wants to find that first kill. Crew Feather finds another one on the other side, but double swung, and down is Sithmore. That becomes a 4v2 in favor of Holly Springs, and there's gonna be a fight certainly near heaven as Crew Feather wants to take somebody out. They find themselves alone now with such little HP, and Onster, excuse me. Oh, he's not even gonna be the one to take it, is he? Yes, Onster cleans up the round, and maybe a quicker round than we had expected, given the buys and the ultimates.
How disrespectful is it for the final thing you get to see is just
wingman
wingman clapping as soon as you get shot in the head. It's one of those, and no wonder we get a timeout. Inlow, this is actually something that a lot of teams really need to get in the practice of, slowing things down before they get way too ugly. And I honestly kind of wish it happened a little bit sooner. 8-2 is a rough position to do it from. But let's look at the good and the bad. There's a lot of ultimates. I think they're going to be maybe just now a couple away from actually getting the Nightfall for Inlow. But you don't want to let those burn a hole in your pocket and just be used for the end of the round. We're going to be seeing an eco coming up. Holly Springs has been so effective. Honestly, they've really not been scared of contact. The only thing that's ever happened is 50-50s with Onster, but Phoenix has been alongside Spartan. They have been so effective.
And note as well their attacks when they do end up on what you would consider the strong side from Enloe, which is that B side guarded by the Cypher. It hardly ever is just a full push from main, right? We've seen so much mid activity, and especially in that last round off the early frags, they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to crash through heaven, and they're going to make it a complete nightmare for that is Beast Rim on that defensive Cypher to try and get out alive. So yeah, they're really doing a great job from Holly Springs, putting Enloe in these awkward situations. Off the timeout though, and off some rifle buys, can Enloe bounce back?
You're immediately going to thieve space. They have, at least a majority of rifles. Beast Rim is going to be one of the few that does not. Sith is lucky that they didn't take even more damage.
I've got your trail.
As some pain shells kind of go raining out, and now it's pretty well telegraphed for Holly Springs here that there is going to be an absolute bar fight going out here in mid. Beast Rim simply chilling on B. They're about to receive at least a couple to give them the good to go to maybe spin in, on A to really down check and go into that rotation. And it's a trade. Phoenix does get rid of Beast, but not before Nash hits the floor. So that's at least turning this into a 4v4.
It does, but while all the sound cues are on A site, We've got Holly Springs crashing into B with the spike. So
Spike
Sithmore, you see their point of view right now. They're trying to head to where all the action is, but with the spike planted, they can't hear the ticker. They've got to rotate around. They've got to get on to B, and it's another kind of decoy play from Holly Springs. And look at this Clove as well on the flank.
Last
Phoenix
player
finds a
standing.
third. Phoenix finds a fourth on the lurk. And it's all for naught from Enloe.
Oh, one more for the ace. Monster just
Oh.
chilling. He's gonna squat. They're gonna try and get Phoenix that
No more
ace.
dreams.
Sithmore will at least get one on the Furious. You have Phoenix. They're gonna spin right around the corner and they get him. The ace completes. Right as the Prowler came out, they shoved it straight back in the Pokeball and threw Sith in
Last
with
round
it
in
into
the
another
half.
dimension. 9-2 right now for Holly Springs and 21-5 for Phoenix. That is a very impactful Clove.
Impactful indeed. Just got that ace off Phoenix. I mean, Enloe, they're the one with the Omen, but they've got to be feeling like everyone from Holly Springs has the From the Shadows. They don't know where their opponents are at any time. They try and crash on the site that has all the sound. The spike is planted elsewhere. They try and rotate around from their spawn. Their opponent's Clove is in their spawn, taking them out. Where do you turn after that here on the final round that Enloe will be on defense?
I mean, at this point, there's not many places you can turn. They've taken over mid. This is one of those places that they continue to condition Inlow to at least have to go and be threatened by. Holly Springs is going to see themselves swiftly taking B if they really want to. They got to win some of these fights from down low over up into heaven. And Spartan clears out Pinch, who's just going to be laid out to the grass. So a plant comes through into a 3v5 and Beast Rem gonna reconvene with the rest of the squad. This is gonna be so tough because you're going up against a squad that has dropped basically no one until now. Sith finding massive value. The wingman will identify someone is in backside. And Apple now coming on active.
My turn.
It's active, but so is the not done yet
Last
from
player
Phoenix. They
standing.
find one, they find another. Can they clean up completely on the second life? It's just Beast Rim to try and defuse, but they're found out, and they're found dead. Nash turns around from the opposite side of the site to wipe them out. The 10th round
sides.
win for Holly Springs.
You know, I was about to say, man, what a useless ultimate that Clove has. Because if it's on a person like Phoenix who simply isn't dying, it's not going to get used. Well, but then on the other side of that, they got to be aggressive when they were seeing the defense flood back in, and then they finally got to use it. I almost wonder if they used it on purpose.
That's that's exactly what I was gonna say. Is like you just go full on tilt and just die, even if it's on purpose, so you can ult again. Lovely work for Phoenix to bring back a couple, but bring it back more than a couple is what's needed here for Enloe. They're finally on attack, and starting off this half right is gonna be imperative.
Drop in a smoke.
Good performance here so far by Holly Springs. They're going to at least a taste of defense. You got to take 3 rounds here if they want to finish out this BO1. These are all best of 1 formats we're going to be showing to you guys today. So that's how these qualifiers of these group stages works. Best ofs of 3s and 5s don't really show up till we get to the big time. But Phoenix has been the star player here so far and really showcasing. It's tough to get a read on this this meddling agent, and Phoenix actually may get some value from behind a Pluto. We first blood on a Spartan, and that's now finally Phoenix, who gets traded by Finch.
Great trade there. Playing together is going to be the key here for Enloe, so they've got to take out Onster, as Onster is taking out the entire team.
Spike down B.
No teamwork, except for everybody falling like synchronized swimmers plummeting down. Beast Rim found out here by the spy cam. And this is going to be quite the effort. 1v3 classic in hand. A couple cages. Hail to their name.
Yeah. Onster the monster really just kind of ruining
30 seconds
the
left.
day here for Inlow. Beast Rim got this triple swing. That is actually going to be the early ruse. Oh, off of their minimap. They know there's at least one. Dizzy's going to make this a lot tougher. You actually now have a smoke to protect yourself, and that is Wingman, who is coming to clap everything and give you a round of applause for your death. Nash eventually finds their twin, puts them in the bin. And that's an 11th here for Holly Springs. Inlow has to be forced buying now every round forward.
Yep. It's all about these next couple of rounds. Really, it was all about that round, but This is all about desperation here. And you see the half shields coming through. You see the stingers and the sheriffs coming through as well. And, you know, to be fair, from Enloe, we've seen some nice sheriff shots. They've got the ability to aim down that site. Well, the site that's not even available on the sheriff, but they can get the headshot. That's the point I'm trying to make. So they're going to need it here. Moving into round number 14 as they position on A side. Furious, well, they're probably going to have to rotate around.
Do what they can, try and get back over to it as well, and we'll see how that one comes back to that moment. But as they do at least down check onto A, it looks like they're going to be full sprinting in that direction to try and find at least a few picks as that comes back through. There's a maze of cyber cages. There's so many cyber cages, you would swear you are deep within the internet early 2000s style with the Matrix. Can't win on that spray down as Feather actually finds huge value off the Stinger. This becomes a 2v2.
Okay, they're holding the site still. Furious with the Trailblazer and that guiding light comes around off of the Clove ability, and Phoenix takes them down. The Bulldog roars, and Beastrim the last to fall. Holly Springs with enough time for the defuse.
Any of my friends that have a Bulldog, if it does not roar, it is not a real Bulldog. That is now my requirement.
You think that's just a bark? No.
Is it a loud, long bark?
Use your imagination. Just like what's going to be needed from Enloe. If you want to imagine a circumstance where they come out on top here. I'm trying to be that cynical, but it's going to be a long road ahead here, Hail Monkey Man. I'll give them credit, though. That round there was about as close as you can come to scavenging some type of momentum forward.
That's true. I can definitely agree with that. And this is also a team that has a lot of practice on the side of Enloe on split, kind of going all the way back to their fall semester. They actually had one of their group stage plays into this come through split. They weren't able to take on and take down Sun Valley High, but you can tell that they kind of rock and roll with this map as often as they do. But unfortunately for them, Holly Springs has just been a very tough opponent. Now, to that same measure, both of these squads are going to try and take advantage of this group stage action, considering that neither one of them made it out of groups last time that we had any of these qualifiers. This is great first looks for Holly Springs to try and get that first dub.
It really is. Starting off strong. It's going to be exactly the motto when you think about that group stage here, and we're just starting it off here today. Starting strong, our Holly Springs. Can they finish strong? If they hold the line here, certainly will. Mid presence gathered from Enloe. Holly Springs not really combating it much. In fact, they're hanging back quite a bit here. A few rifles in their hands as well as Phoenix watches down ramp. Gonna have to escape from that fault line. Stunned for a moment, but still ready to play that side angle. As they move off the area, flashed away, as well as Enloe do gather space around ramp.
Phoenix is surrounded on all sides, exactly where he wants them. Trying to be able to take some business here. They get at least one. Pinch goes down. Spartan will make them fall. Nash is going to quickly join the kill team party. And now it's all of one. Beastrim with hopes and dreams, but they're just nightmarish in form. 13-2, a flawless to end it. And of course, Phoenix jumps up with a 3K to make sure no one forgets their name. Performance on Clove. That is a heck of a way to start off your qualifier run.
No kidding. Phoenix NA making it happen. That was a heck of a montage as well, because you had Phoenix getting kills from everywhere they were surrounded. It was like this cinematic moment. Then you pan to their teammate who is spraying a Cypher trip and can't quite get it down. And then back to Phoenix for the last kill. I mean, that is truly a resemblance of what this match was from night to day, but for the most part, a consistent effort out of Holly Springs against Enloe. When we take a look at Wake County for our first match of the day, Hail Monkey Man, I think we already have a highlight team to keep our eyes on.
Really is, and I need to know what's gonna really kind of come out of that team. Teams for Valorant aren't built on a single peg. You have to have all four legs there to make sure it stays afloat. Phoenix, a fantastic player, and they had a wonderful supporting cast, and I think that is really what drove them through this squad in through split. But I want to see what happens going through the rest of the group stage because they're gonna fight tougher opponents going forward. We know a lot of them are here, but it's a fantastic confidence booster when you simply 13-2 smear out a team into split. Inlow, you know what? It's one game. That's what you tell your program, tell your students. It's one game. They got to get ready for the next one.
We're going to get ready for the next one, folks, with $45,000 on the line here for the Valorant Conference Qualifiers of VESL. There's quite a bit on the line for these teams to continue in the group stage. We're here with the Wake County Conference as well. So keep in tune with the stream with the matches. We got more to come. Next up is Panther Creek versus the Wake Young Men's Leadership ACA. Stick around for that match coming up next. Welcome right on back, everybody, to the Spring 2024 Valorant Conference Qualifiers for VESL. We're here with Wake County teams competing against each other at the group stage, all for a sum at the end, Hail Monkey Man, of $45,000. These high school teams of North Carolina are ready to compete. We just got done with our first one. We're on to the next one, but what do you make of the competition so far? Mm, mm. Ooh. Hmm. Okay, so we could very well be looking at the bottom of the upper echelon here for Wake County, as they did make top 8, but weren't able to break through past that into the playoffs. That's the key here, folks. In the group format, you've got to be top 8 in your county to make it to those eventual playoffs in May. So I'm ready to see. I'm ready to bear witness to how these teams have been leveling up between the fall and the spring semester here. So let's get on to it. Hale already called it out, but we've got Panther Creek versus Wake's Young Men Leadership Team. And we got them going right here, right now on none other, of course, Hale, than Ascent. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's something we see, actually locked in. Maybe not. We still got time to find out. And there's the fact as well that we saw a person named Phoenix in the last game pop off. So maybe the agent of Phoenix can be the way that we actually see that. Agent's getting locked in here for Ascent, and we already know the Panther Creek is going to start on attack. All 5 of them have been locked in. I feel like this agent composition could have been chosen a couple years ago. But they're still just as effective today, especially that Sova on Ascent. I feel like we never get this map without that agent. We'll see them on both sides. What do you think, Hell Monkey Man? Is the Sova more effective on defense or offense on this kind of side? Okay. Well, you talked about it. We might just see it. Vital on the Sova for defense is ready to set up that recon dart and allow their Phoenix to thrive. The round has begun. Unfortunately for them, Panther Creek, they're searching on the A side. We'll see that almost instant rotation begin to occur here. Vital's still going to be hanging out on this site, and maybe it's going to be worthwhile because while the young men's leadership team has started on the A side. They're already rotating across. How about that, Hale? from the first classic pistol round, it is not that full force on the one side.
You know, I like that because the thing that we didn't really mention much of is that we're getting 2 sentinels, and you have a Cypher trip setup as well as the that's left behind for this chamber. So you want to walk away from this
revealing area
setup and whenever you identify where the Cypher is, and just make them cry with all the things that are left out there. So that means that you have to run the beat, even if you're not wanting to just run it out when it comes to this A push, even with the Jet, who's now way less than half of their HP bar. If we get yet another rotation, which is all the thing we have time for, I wouldn't be surprised, but it finally looks like we're about to crash.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they waited out that hot hands and they're able to push down fast lane. Vital taking care of the drone first, but Swagjack was already around that switch getting a kill.
Spike down,
However, Panther Creek really holding line, especially
Last
from
player
Vic
standing.
with those kills on the Headhunter now. With the Ghost in hand, could get another to go, but down to 22 HP is Rose. Not going to be able to find it in that 1v3. Panther Creek hold the line.
Any player that I've ever seen pick a chamber purposely, especially into a double Senny setup, which is very rare on Ascent, and you want to be afraid because they're a hungry Sentinel, and they do exactly what we got to see Vikesta do, which on that Headhunter is brutal. It's nasty, and they're already on the most premium anti-eco Slayer weapon that exists right now, and that's the Outlaw. That is kills for free.
Yep. Doesn't matter if you get no shield or light shield. And as we look at this, there is not a single buy of shield or weapon from our friends over at the YMWL. So they're going to be very cautious as they search for this A hit. Mentioned it earlier, but they're already very much recognizing the fact that Super Trip is ready to stop them at a moment's notice. So even with that recon dart, seeing Kihei here on the side, gotta be aware of anything to go. Trailblazer trying to poke through and get some more recon before YMWL is gonna hit the site. But with that Cloudburst combination, the Outlaw indeed
One
does the
enemy
damage
remaining.
you asked for.
Spike
Kihei
down
on the Spectre moves a
Flawless.
fourth. And it is Vikesta to get a third on the Outlaw. Then just wipe them out. It put them all in their grave.
A Cloudburst is only as cool and protective as the the smoke that stays true to it. But if you get given away by a big old tripwire, well, that's exactly why they ran away from that situation to begin with on the round number 1. Round 2 pretty much goes exactly how I thought it might, especially with Vikesta, who's very aggressive. This is exactly what a chamber must do. Own mid. Force, especially Waken Leadership Men's Academy, to run away and just narrow possibilities. It looks like they're going to try and get a lot more aggressive, especially because this is now a flawless bonus round. A very healthy one. Let's see what Wake can do. They do find Vic.
Dude, just because they were finding those kills on the Outlaw a bit too free. This time they're taken down with that Ares, though. Vital holding on and stranded over there. Boathouse a bit alone. Gonna hang out and try to hold the line as long as they can. Drone's gonna spot them, though. So how do you like that? Right back at you.
Out of charges.
Vital still holding their ground. Flying Tiger trying to see even just a pixel of Vital, but not quite getting it. But they've got to move on the site before maybe Vital's counterpart in the Cypher pushes through from Market. They will finally get that plant. Vital
Spike
from left,
planted.
going from right. That shorty sweat dripping down their brow, but finally getting sighted out. At some point, you've got to move, Vital. At some point, you've got to push for sure.
area.
Delicate on the other end. Doesn't get a kill.
One enemy remaining.
And finally go down. Never seen someone survive that long in boat.
I mean, they had a shorty. I wonder how much that was actually shot. Whenever they had the initial X-ray, Flying Tiger is able to find Delicate just before they lose
Remember,
the hero's
wipe
play.
the pins from
And
your
they get
guns.
2 out of the way.
It's
2
just
big
good
kills
crime scene
on
etiquette.
It was a bonus round, but that is going to be Wake now coming into the matchup and
Right
finding,
here.
themselves
Right here.
in a solid rifle
Right
round.
here.
I already see Vital on an Odin. That's
Right
all
here.
expected. Dog play and look where all the players are.
Yep.
A pick may be on the way.
Here.
This could be scary. Let's see if Wake see this coming. The Odin spray will beckon upon us. Or no, not seeing it quite yet. Even with that orb, sound cute. No Odin spray, so surviving our wake. A wall spamming. Wow, Bethesda getting hungry, maybe a bit too hungry for those kills. Deciding to peek out there was the Phoenix on Panther Creek, but peek as you may, that is Wake pushing off that site.
Transition away, able to get one. Bethesda no longer going to be a threat, and that actually frees up much of this transitional point. That's why mid now is just basically an open lane. It's a thoroughfare, and everyone else is paying for the dues and tolls to go through it. Swag check gonna be holding
Enemy kill. Blocking sight.
One enemy remaining.
Someone trying to
Spike down A.
Going right back around them, but they have taken over A. Spike travels away from a body, but they're gonna get that plant up, and now it's all of the tall. They get rid of them, so a plant is gonna come through. We're even Stevens at 2 apiece, and then get a free plant ult orb. So now, yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. It looks like that we're gonna be getting an eco out of the side of Panther Creek with 2 outside of Wake.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I mean, we thought that Wake were starting off in a trap with that Odin from B main, but then they were able to trap Panther Creek in a situation where they couldn't fend the rotation. They took away their mid-defensive player of Bethesda, and that really opened up that lane to rotate through A onto site and take care of business as they please. Panther Creek now on quite the save, so Wake with a steep advantage moving on to A.
That guiding light to give themselves maybe a chance to kind of burst and pressure. Owl drone looking for that figure. They know that they're hanging out from beyond the box. It's in the Pathfinder. Oh, but you do get the tour de force online for Vic. No longer playing with the nonsense of not getting a pick, and that's actually huge, especially on this eco round where Panther Creek is playing it into a disadvantage that gives up a rifle. They could go and recover later, and it does look like they'll check it out once everyone does rotate away. They're gonna have one more to them here, Pyro and Wake. We'll see a free B side. This is gonna be a bit tough.
Looks like a sprint, like a race here, like a 400-meter dash to see who can get onto the site themselves. For Wake, maybe they do play for retake, seeing that lockdown get planted. Rose does find one on the CT side that was trying to move in, but Big
30 seconds left.
With yet another on the tour de force. I am the Even though this was a save originally for Panther Creek, that tour de force doing work. However, the Hunter's Fury can it find the response? Maybe on the Bethesda, they try to find Market because that's where Bethesda was. Never quite getting their hit to go. Retake now incoming from Panther Creek.
Fine Tiger a little bit too patient. They don't get a third shot. Now they have 2 more. Vital finds
Last player standing.
Dodge away from the tour de force. I mean, still got 1 extra shot in
Bomb
it.
grenade
They're just
out.
gonna get
One enemy remaining.
combat. 1 versus 2. Delicate will take the double swing.
Don't interrupt.
And that should be maybe just enough time. Yes, it is. They're nodding to it as well as they finally get to be the retake hero off.
You think I don't know how to get by without money?
So that's a big value. Big stonks on the way to the Panthers.
Game changer has been that chamber, Bethesda, popping that tour de force on maybe a round that wasn't so assured for Panther Creek, but Bethesda says, hey, you put me on the site that they're pushing on, I'll take care of business if I've got my ult activated, and that they did. Swung the round in their favor, and now you've got a situation where Delicate did not have these trips set up on the save earlier, now has them guarding the entire site.
I didn't like that second trip. I'm glad they picked that one up. It's almost a little bit unless you think that you're gonna win some scrappy duels. Swag check though picks up an up and cover going out. Sure to get rid of Bethesda, who would.
I've got your trail.
Counter up. Kihei. To the side, they can spam through, but a Spectre wins that duel off of a wall bang from the box. Delicate is just gonna have to walk away, and there's a lot of shaky heads at Kihei there.
I mean, Rose had prayed to the Valorant gods before we got into this match. I don't know what happened there, other than maybe a stroke of luck or the right spray, or could have been map knowledge as well, just knowing exactly where they were going out of that little crack corner of the box. It doesn't matter now. We've got to move on. Wake, this team has an agent
Spike
advantage pushing on
planted.
the site and getting the plant, but Muzan does not want to wait to put the moves on. They want to move straight into this site. They see TZN. Generator trying to spray. Is that Sova with the Odin? Trying to get as much damage as they can. The Muzan does find a headshot. They've got to move at some point, though. They're going to run out of time.
Sorry, bro.
If they don't
My
eventually
ultimate
hit the site.
One
The
enemy
operator
remaining.
taken down from hell. Rose defeated. And finally, Chick. Absolutely obsolete in this round as the retake works for Panther Creek.
And let's talk about the operator now changing hands. That's going to go straight over to Bethesda, and I think that they might have also invested into their own, so it's a free investment all the same. And you didn't ever get to use the swarm grenades because they were stuck right around the box. Another cheeky positional play for post-plant hold, attempted and failed by Wake Young Leadership Men's Academy. So we're going to go over to round number 7 at this point. You have the Phoenix ult for a solid retake, kind of ultimate, and opposite end of that, Swag Check does look like they're going to bring their Blade Storm, so they're going to spread some of the love around to keep some rifles in hand, but it's not exactly the strongest buy every time here for Wake.
Yeah, that's what I call spreading the love. That's exactly what I feel
Get out
when
of
that
my
knife
way.
hits my head and I'm immediately out of the round. Wonderful feeling. I'm still really surprised that our Sova side of Panther Creek is getting that recon dart to go, but then not all
Revealing area.
words. Maybe we just don't have the no, I think we do have an Odin there. Okay, well, they've got the information.
Shut
and
down.
they've got damage done, but it's gonna be Flying Tiger prowling against their opposition. That Vandal putting in work, and the work has been done. We've seen this before. One of the last times they were able to take out, I think it was Bethesda from Market, and then immediately transfer to the other side. However, that neural theft is going to tell everything that Panther Creek needs to know. Their opposition is in spawn, and that has triggered a re-rotate.
And I like the rotation here by Panther Creek defensively. They haven't rotated to just all go A. They've gone to mid. Getting this dual operator. They were already at low HP, so it's kind of a kill, but you take away what could have been a flash.
30
So there's
seconds
not gonna
left.
be a free entry. Now you have to do it off of what is basically an owl drone. If Flying Tiger can do it, they have a recon
Deploying
dart.
drone.
Owl drone will at least sight out this corner if they repost sides. They see that the majority of numbers are in marketplace. They can't make sure that they will know one is nearby, and there's 3 trying to just swing. Look at them. The strike at least is gonna be
Scanning
planted.
ahead.
So now you gotta get this retake into a 4v2.
Yeah, they got in there, but what cost awaits them as this is that 2v4 they've got to win out on. Chick does
Last
have heavy
player
shield
standing.
and a old rifle to work with it. Oh, Vital still making things work there with the headshot on the Vandal. That's 2 there for Panther Creek on the side of Vital. They stormed into site and took care of business.
Man, and the initial wage, just kind of seeing where the rotation would go, and I thought that first pick, getting rid of Muzan, was going to be huge, but they never moved on it. Right on Muzan's death, the hot hands landed on the floor, and they couldn't push. And it was, I believe, Delicate, who, by the way, Delicate and Bethesda 10-2, 10-4 respectively. Both Sentinels very strong, and Panther Creek really running it down in a defensive advantage point. I wonder how much of that is going to be flipped on its head going into the next
this is a
half.
nice
It
spot.
looks like as long as they can give themselves a huge buffer, it won't matter. But Swag does rid Bethesda of their life.
It does make me think that a lot's going to come down to the impact of Bethesda, because although it's a Sentinel role, he's played a very aggressive Sentinel role, and we've seen that in him being the victim of the First Blood or the winner of the First Blood, and it has really turned the tides in favor of Wake's team, or not. Like said, Wake's Youngman leadership team is being put aside there. No entryway, at least not easy unless you want to step on the flames. The hot hands, they're positioned just outside the smoke. I imagine maybe cutting noise could work to an advantage. Try to put in the minds of their opposition that a rotate is coming through. You do still have every agent available, so flashes and recon could be an advantage. That drone is gonna sight everybody though, so planting their ground on the feet are Panthers Creek on this A side.
And they're gonna, if they're gonna commit to this, they're gonna be using the lockdown. And the thing is, though, they know that as soon as they use it, it's gonna get taken out by Vital.
30 seconds
so
left.
You don't have anything for free. You have less than 30 seconds. This has to be a site execute. Swag has an operator.
Spike down A.
And they are able to swing right back at him. What was a freebie is now at a high premium.
One enemy remaining.
They see him dancing in the doorway. Delicate.
10 seconds left.
Standing in his own cybercade, wondering where it went. Now, maybe an ace to follow through. Moves on, trying to bring it in from heaven.
Watch your eyes.
Have that curveball
No charges left.
themselves up in this position. And they will at least force the first op shot.
Watch your
Another
eyes.
curveball, maybe off the blind. They can get maybe
No.
one. Oh, it takes a while to finish it, but the ace is complete by Swag Check. Wake Academy stays in this series.
Yeah, if I see anything other than an operator in a hand of Swag Checked, obviously I don't care if it's attack or defense, they're already on attack. I'm going to question the strategy of Wake YML's squad. That is unbelievable. They swung from that second to that third kill quicker than I can spray transfer on a Phantom. It was perfection from Swag Checked and the ultimate duelist role, even the entry on the operator.
This goes here, that
So
goes there.
impressive. Taking that down is going to be a key to success for Panther Creek.
They might be doing some old. Oh, see, and again, they get rid of Vicesta. That is, oh, wow. The first blood really is spelling the difference of tone and pace for this team. The one thing that has not been happening is be so wary of the double C.
Blind, you should run.
Not knowing where the cipher is.
Hawk out.
Not crashing onto A too hard.
Blinded.
As the guiding light go up, the owl drone is going to be looking around the floor level, and they're trying to use it to get rid of the tripwire that ends up just turning Flying Tiger into a target, keeping that start covered. And that's going to be a lockdown. That Kihei, I don't know if they got away from. Yes, it is. No, it's in fact still just chilling out, as I think they used. Where'd it go? Did they use that, or was that simply the recon dog? Did I
No,
miss that?
the lockdown was good. Kihei got out of the way, and I mean, pretty much every bit of utility has been expended here. So, at the very least, Panther Creek has managed to,
Out of
excuse
healing.
me, Wake's YML squad has managed to get all that util expended. As again, they just sit outside of A, and you know what? You might question the strategy. You might question, did the lockdown really do anything? But it worked last
30 seconds
time.
left.
However, this time they're going to be starting to sprint over to B side, and time is their greatest enemy right now.
Depending on if they might actually go straight back over to Tree. Muzan gets rid of Rose. This is a great position for Vital. They could use their Hunter's Fury almost immediately, and just to deny them
10
default
seconds
entry if
left.
they wanted to, but he's just going to be directly on site, waiting for the plant. It's going to be a cat and mouse situation. Chick saw them, but they have to go all in on
What?
the plant.
Spike
That's a
down,
one-bang
B.
headshot. You just slap in front of your enemy and you take them out. But it's a 2v2. They're going to get a plant off. There's still people alive, but they just won't win that round.
Oh my goodness. I'm thinking exactly what you were saying as you saw them. I don't know. Maybe they figured there was new level design updates and there was actually a statue somewhere on the site. That's all I can think of at this point. Unfortunate loss there for Wake's YML, but they'll have to concede that round and move on. Still got a few more left. Wake's YML squad can still bring this back. Few round wins could be started from this B hit.
Standing ahead.
Everyone together. This scares me. Oh, man, because the big recon, the Hunter's Fury is gonna come out and let it sing. Vital, get one, get two, get a few tagged, and Muzan gets a spray through that smoke to take one down.
At least, I want to say about 240 damage has been done by the Hunter's Fury with no deaths. Triple tags, but nothing enough to get everyone out. And they actually did have the sky.
Stay down.
You do get rid of Swag Check. Vital is going to hold this one tight.
Flash!
Just outside the boathouse.
That's done.
Enter off of the curveball. Good for a second.
One enemy remaining.
There, the spike is now in a dangerous position. Four people are trying to take you down. They have the op. Doesn't matter, because Vital is going to get them for distance, and that's going to
Charges left.
and they're going to give it back to their chamber, who has been suffering. The good news for Wake Academy is that they have been able to win the first blood 3 rounds in a row. Poor Vicesta ain't been allowed to play Valorant that entire time. But now they're like, you know what, Muzan, you take a turn. How about you try this one against Swag?
Yeah, remember when Delicate and Vigesta were 10-2 and 10-4 respectively? A few rounds later, they're still at that 10 mark. In terms of the kills, yeah, Panther Creek have just been making sure that everyone has an impact. Get these wins through, and Everyone's getting some time on the operator. Hell, why not? Moves on this time, defeating 2 on that catwalk. And Wake's young men's leadership squad will have to reconsider their approach.
Moves on like, bro, just let me try. let me get a look. Let me see what I can do, and they get 2. And they get rid of swag, which has really been the shining star for Wake Academy right now. Considering that this has been a pretty conditioned Cypher setup, it's still something that if you're Wake that you have to be a bit afraid of. They're trying to hop onto that box, get some of that parkour action going, maybe get
It's
over
tough,
that
it's
ridge.
tough.
It's I've tried. I just not work. I don't know. Maybe just don't lace them up right. Something
You gotta install like jet so you can just hover and easily hop on it.
Oh, you right.
Yeah, well, we're seeing the Flying Tigers truly take some height here, as they finally are posted on top of that wall. You may think that A is the definitive hit, but at this time, that's when they started moving
30
to
seconds
B,
left.
so you never know. This attacking side team could even save for that final round of this half. Is that going to be the look now that we're at 20 seconds? I believe it will. So, gonna hold on to those rifles, hold on to, well, a sheriff for Chick.
10
and
seconds
hope
left.
that in the next round, they don't have to rely on that 9-3 curse.
What's your favorite flavor gelato since Chick was over there?
Oh, it's been a while since I've had a gelato. Hit me with yours.
I like raspberry. Raspberries. I like if I'm getting gelato, I want something like tart.
Yeah, you gotta
Last
get creative.
round before
if
the
it's
switch.
Gelato, right? I'll go
Right
with the
here.
typical mint chocolate chip or cookies and cream if I'm having ice cream. But with gelato, you know, take a walk on the wild side.
Yeah, get out there. If they got some crazy fruit flavors, like I'll try that. You know, I had a cantaloupe gelato one time.
I would love to have a snack with some of those stuffed animals that I know are propped up on some of those chairs and restaurants on this map. But there's no sitting around. There's no loitering. Well, unless you're maybe Wake's young men's leadership group, because they've been hanging out at the main entrances of either side. This time it might just have to be a storm. Bethesda looking to be that antidote as they're posted with this judge. That is a dangerous setup if you are a Wake's attacking team.
Bethesda in a very safe spot to escape as well, but this is a beautiful cross too, because Vital can just be a decoy completely. Muzan still out in mid to archway. I think they have that operator. It is lockdown central right now here for Wake Academy. They cannot get a single bead, a single eye on Panther Creek, and they don't want to leave themselves with very little time. They've rotated before, and since there's been zero sightlines of anything, gotta think they're gonna do exactly that. That judge gonna do something.
Spike down B.
Step on back, and no TP hurt. That's gonna be at least one shock dart put out, but no damage.
Take flight.
And now they're down for at least one healer, one entry, and this is gonna be in a rough situation. They gotta rely on swag.
They do. They just in time, and unfortunately, they won't get the Seekers. They won't get the Blade Storm. One ultimate's active here for Wake's team, but they just
30
don't
seconds
get
left.
anyone to survive to be able to utilize them from the shadow.
One
They don't
enemy
use either.
remaining.
Bethesda picks up the Vandal.
Spike down B.
I don't
Long.
think the Hunter's Fury will be seen either. Flawless round.
You
Bethesda
OD.
holds their ground, whether it's the judge, the
Switching
rifle, it
sides.
doesn't matter. They wipe through them.
Bethesda showcasing to us an outlaw early, and then getting onto their tour de force, and then they were getting diffed on the op. It's like, you know what? Give it to Muzan. Give me a judge.
It worked.
So with the shotgun, yeah. Sometimes you're like, you know what? They've read me. I am just not doing anything anymore, and I would
That
love
works.
to play this game. Let me
Here.
have them
Here.
hate me with a shotgun, and that's what worked out. So now we have to see the same thing on the opposite foot. The difference
Placing
is the
swamp
sentinel
grenade.
setup. This is going to be a much less defensive, I guess, preset. It's got to be much more proactive.
Yeah, you see Wake's YML really fortified B with just the killjoy, so they've kind of, the rest of their agents just about defending this A site. The Trailblazers going to show just that. Flash down in the way as Rose, but gets bailed out by their teammate. Eventually cannot take out Delicate. Delicate finds 2. Entry to give them that agent advantage. Recon Dart is going to spot the call, so he's got to be careful as some of the players are gonna peek out of that smoke.
One enemy remaining.
They'll still find finds the headshot. Kihei follows up with one as well, so it's just Chick left. Chick finds one, needs to find a couple others, and is taking their time. They've got 2 seconds to spare with this spike ticking down.
Turn out.
At least put their turret out, see if anyone's hanging out in the box. They do have a bit of damage. You're gonna get double swung on. There's a lot of damage though.
One enemy remaining.
He's in a place of advantage. They actually have the turret to help them out. They can just get over to Spike. Play cat mouse, look over the right click. Oh, they do find Delicate. And just enough time to get a defuse. A 1v3. Chaconi is like,
Clutch.
that's just a regular day of the week. What is this, Wednesday?
Oh, my
Done.
genius doesn't stop in the lab.
Chiconi, what a play and what a swing on that final classic kill. Me, I'll hug generator and rely on the right click. Chiconi,
Turn
no.
out.
Headshots for days. Magnificent retake on the solo effort of the 1v3. And how about that to put some pep in the step of the Wake's young men's leadership?
Yeah, it ain't over yet. And that's what Chick is telling the rest of the squad. It ain't over. We got swag now with an outlaw, which is obviously the most ego pick that you really can make from this position. They've done it. They saw it by Vikesta, and they're like, you know, that's pretty good. I want to try and do the same thing. But they're doing it on a slightly separate sort of agent. That agency will come into play. And this is actually the difference, because the Cypher, considering that they can just kind of set it and forget it for their utility, that is not the same sort of situation that you have with Wake. They have to actively figure out where they're going to put this Killjoy. And certainly, this huge injury.
Spike down
Oh boy,
A.
is it ever. But Swag Tech with that outlaw, it's good for 2 shots. That means it's good for 2 kills. However, eventually traded by Delicate with that stinger. And Delicate, if they do find another kill, they're going to have an average a 2 spot for each attacking round. However, it's just the 2 of them sticking on sight, trying to get that plant, that spike down, but it's stuck in tree.
Sentry.
They've got quite a road to take if they want to get out of there. How about that angle of that turret?
Last
And
player
it is truly
standing.
coming through. Oh no! Delicate's down off the nano swarm. Chakotay starts on B site, but once they got onto A, it is a dangerous endeavor.
Oh,
It
no,
really
you
is.
don't deserve
And
my
that's,
inventions.
I mean, they were on an eco, but still, Wake, great retakes so far right now. I wonder if they were told to go and grab that outlaw. I don't think they were able to get it in time, but that poor turret, that thing, like, I've seen the nerf before. That just hurts.
Yeah. As a Killjoy main, trust me, I know. People don't think it's a big deal because, but the reality is you never really had to choose which side you wanted to look at.
Yeah.
It's going
Right.
to cover 180 degrees. Now you do. Now, instead of putting it forward like they did, realistically, you want to put that slanted to the side so that you can cover that generator spot. Meanwhile, all of the attacker side is covered by Panther Creek. It's a couple rounds conceded by them. They're trying to rebound, turn this thing around. There was a guiding light into A main that didn't spot anybody. And so that may give notice to Wake's
Hey.
YML to move forward, but they've already lost an agent. So this is an advantage from Panther Creek. Where do they take this now?
Looks like they're at least creating space into pizza, but the spike is traveling with A, so this is kind of a deep situation. A lot of utility is tattletelling
Cage
everyone
triggered.
that's at least near E. Look at the rotation that's pulled, though. Muzan gets rid of Rose, and that actually confirms that Wake wants to travel this over to pizza, but this is all just to take some frags, just be able to get some big kills and picks, and now they can play for a flawless. Try to get their double digits going. The door's already dropping down.
Okay.
Testa is going to be creating a lot of havoc here in Tree. That's not exactly the greatest place trademark, but they're going to rely on Muzan to still get much of these sight lines. Some contact against Chick, and now it's just left for these 2 up in heaven. They may be playing for the save or just trying to rotate around.
Watch your eyes!
One
They
enemy
can play for
remaining.
the save, but flashed and swung on like that. Muzan finds 3 as they collide with just about everyone from Tree up through heaven. And they take care of the rest of business as well. We talked about a rebound effort from Panther Creek, gaining the first win on this attacker's side. And boy, was it a rebound as ever. I think YML, their heads are spinning, El Monkey Man, because all the sound cues told them to get on the B, but that spike ended up on A.
we've seen some very apt rotations today. From the split first match of the day. Everyone should check that out on the VOD later. But on this one, glad to see everyone is taking into some consideration. Of course, they try and get that quick tailwind and they get out of dodge, recognizing that this is just not cool until they saw before we get started. And now the camera says, Bucky, they're gonna throw
I know
at least
exactly
a
where
shot
you are.
out, but EA is just not gonna let Swag have any extra time.
I feel like you gotta respect it, you know. You got the Bucky in hand, you gotta make it work. And note the fact that the folks that are taking those rat angles with the shotgun, they have it out, right? Chamber had that TP. Jet had that cloudburst into the dash out of the sight. Rose, there's no getting out of that situation though. Kihei up the catwalk, lands the headshot with their rifle.
Plants
On the
the spike.
side of YML if they want to prove their tree, but this time around, Panther Creek, when they get the spike down on A, it looks like they want to hang out on that site, hold the line, and crash, close that door.
Yeah. This is a very weak buy situation right now for Wake. I think they bought up into that previous round. It wasn't really a big bonus, and that's really why they were considering some late options to try and run away from that tree side. But all that was happening. They've seen what you can do, but they make sure that that is not going to come to pass. 11th round win could be very positive. Exactly.
One enemy remaining.
The Odin
Revealing area.
Fall out, and one judge kill grins itself through Delicate, but Bethesda's having none of it. 11-5, and this is putting Wake in a pickle because this could be one of the last times they actually get to buy up. They're having to force buy now through the
Yeah, you've got to make a decision as a team. Do you want to stay for that next round to make the ultimate comeback, or do we just make do with what we've got? TZN says, hey, last round, I got mine with the judge, so I'm buying the judge again. They can full buy next round, so they're confident in that. But how about the positioning out of YML? Look at all of them crashing onto B main. They are, again, holding that side. But for Panther Creek, it's a very patient display. They made note of the fact that YML got a little aggressive last time. Right, swag check. We see them with the Vandal last time on the Bucky. Tried to get into wine, tried to move forward. So they want to allow for that early aggression and then.
Come on, let's go!
Know exactly where the Bucky stands, and they try to simply play coy. Well, now they play dead as Muzan gets rid of them. Clears sight completely. The only thing that's remaining is now coming in through heaven, and after all of that, YML is just a do or die situation, especially because 12 is going to be right around the corner. Panther Creek is going to have a lot of time to finish out this map. Batal hanging out near this Jenny. One hell, one out to this thing. They're keeping this one pretty flawless and a lot of guns in hand. It is just
one enemy remaining
on that upper target. Bethesda wants the final one. Run out of bullets.
They ran out of bullets because they've been spamming these walls. It was their Phoenix from underneath in hell. It was Bethesda spamming the wall on the top side. I mean, they couldn't even peek on the retake for YML because they were getting wall bang. This time TZN not good for their judge kill. This time around as Delicate gets the kill on the rifle instead.
Match point.
And here we go. This is match point in this best of one, folks. If you might just be tuning in, this is our Valorant Conference Qualifiers for VESL, the Spring 2024 round of this. We're on the Wake County, and this is group play. So teams are playing for wins after wins in these best of ones to be the top 8 to move into playoffs in May. One more round to win, Hail Monkey Man. Panther Creek will start off this group play just right.
Group stage play can be kind of daunting, but considering the format, you still have a lot of extra chances. Wake Academy, they're gonna have other moments. They've got to see what kind of gut check comes in through here. A cheeky play by Flying Tiger, by the way. Love seeing that they hang out tight with that judge. What has been done unto you can be done unto me. Cast on the swing. They know that play. They're the one that did it last time. So close that door, open up sight, and the plant will be coming on to speed.
Yeah, he's very aware of that play, but unfortunately for YML, they will also
one enemy remaining.
Doesn't even say Bethesda clearing every angle, every spot. that YML could be in Chakotay. We've seen the 1v3 retake and succeeding in the defuse. Can you get the 1v5 as well against
It is
Vital? Not
Attackers
quite.
win.
Panther
Okay,
Creek
that is done.
13-5 take their
You
win in the first stage of groups.
Man, a wild one for him. I had these moments of grandeur that I was thinking maybe we'd get them going, get a pick onto Vital, and maybe get a chance to use their lockdown, which really would make a pressure cooker situation on the B, but it never came to pass. Great looks by Vital. And, I think, honestly, both these Sovas proved me wrong. It's an attacking Sova that's actually a little bit more effective. Defensively, it feels like a safe haven, but if you can really open up sites with these Sovas like we got to see, I mean, it's pretty much a big advantage to have that Russian on your side.
Really is. And even so, I think it's useful when you have these initiators on attack for YML. It kind of felt like they were locked into main on B or main on A. Maybe they would rotate, maybe they would stay, but that mid presence was very absent. And that really allowed their opposition to really punch up the numbers on the site and corral on that when necessary. So yeah, those Sovas, they were stronger on attack. Maybe the rotations needed to come through a bit more, but what we learned, absolutely, that there's no doubt Panther Creek, a strong showing in this match win. Now, Monkey Man, we've got more to see. So any predictions in terms of maps or agents you want to see? Any highlight figures that you think we'll witness here as the action continues?
I mean, that Ascent, if it ends up being the same, is just pretty stock standard. I want to see people go more to Lotus. I love triple site maps. I love what Lotus has become, mostly because it feels even bigger than it was a moment ago. I don't want to see Breeze because Breeze sucks. I hate Breeze. I don't want to see Breeze like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
And I would
All right.
invite. Look, okay, where. You can enjoy it. It's a great vacation spot, but I don't want to see it played. I would love Icebox in opposite of
Yeah.
that, though. I've enjoyed the Icebox changes, but agency, the fact that we got Clove is awesome. We've already seen Gecko. All I'm missing is a Yoru, so bring
Fair.
that out too.
Well, folks, we still have one more match today in these qualifiers of the Spring 2024 Valorant Conference Qualifiers. So stick around and let us know what map you want to see with our next match right and ready to go. It is Green Hope versus Green Level. We'll see you momentarily for that one. Welcome back, one and all. We return with our Valorant Conference Qualifiers of VESL for spring 2024. There is $45,000 on the line for high school teams in North Carolina, all competing against each other for a chunk of that change. My name's Pyro J. I'm joined here with Hail Monkey Man, and we're dropping into our third match of the Wake County Valorant matches. This one, Hail Monkey Man, Green Level and Green Hope. I know you know a thing or two about these teams, that there's a little bit of storied history with these squads. Talk to us a little bit about what we're walking into here.
So this is a team that fought and had to deal with vengeance based on one of the programs. Green Level took out Green Hope's B team in the regional finals to try and make the state championships for the fall semester. They took out their B team, and then guess who? They faced Big Brother A team in the semifinals of the state championships and got absolutely blasted 13-1 on bind. So it's great to have a program with depth, because then you like, they've done all these things. This is what you should expect. And boy, howdy, they learned from it. So Green Level facing off against Green Hope into this next one here, Pyro. This is a big matchup, and you want to see if Green Level is going to try and level everything out.
We'll see if they do. We've had an unleveled performance so far, I would say. Some big winners really standing out today. Our first match, of course, was that Holly Springs win over Enloe, a defeating one. And then a bit closer, but still quite a rampage that we had just witnessed from Panther Creek. They got the win over there on Ascent against the Wake's Young Men's Leadership. If you do want to check out those matches, just check the VOD here. Scroll back a little bit. We've got those matches right here. But this match, Green Level versus Green Hope, might just be our best one of the day. So let's drop into this qualifier round right now, into the agent select, to see who we're dealing with against this potential rivalry of a matchup. Well, hell, Monkey Man, we don't even got an agent select. We got a map of Ascent. We got round one, so let's dive in.
We have, oh man, we've got a heck of a match with this one. It's going to be going back to Ascent, and this one as standard as you can be. You have solid meta. You have, simply put, the most well-used and well-cherished composition possible. You can have some doubles initiator with the KO as well.
Here. I can't use that. Ugh.
Scanning ahead.
One enemy remaining. Thirty seconds left.
Shadows traveling. No more.
got that in several different colors. But it does look like that we're going to be going into the later term of this one. It looks that they either may re-roll the round or we'll come back to it in just a little bit. Karambits are cool. I feel like Karambits were made cool because of CS, and
Yeah.
I didn't stick into CS. Are you a CS guy?
No.
Oh, yeah.
This is Valorant. Hell, Monkey Man.
I
What
know it
Valorant
is.
players have ever played CS? I
Never.
feel like
Not once.
at some point you get into FPS, and if it's later, then you're into Valorant. If it was earlier, then you were graced with the time of CS. But I mean, for this matchup, when we look to get into it, I think there's kind of this disagreement onto who started hitting who and whether the round should be taken again or not. We're figuring out some mouses that need to be fixed. This is all the beauty of technical pauses. Funny enough, during VESL Americas in the past weekend, there were plenty of technical pauses. Trying to get that LAN situation to work, some audio issues were there. So not even at the highest points of this game, Hell Monkey Man, are we away from pauses like this.
I mean, I actually saw a meme on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it the other day that was comparing pit crews of admins against each other, like League of Legends, Valorant, RLCS type stuff, and just who can switch out tech difficulties, monitors, and like all this stuff faster. And I think they said someone set like a world record, quote unquote, for the fastest fix of that same thing. So I like that now is its own sub competition between tech and admins. But we are in fact going to go to round number 2 now, live and loud.
Yeah, who knows what tech or admin took care of business here, as it is an online stage. Of course, LANs will be happening for playoffs come May, starting the 11th and 12th, so keep an eye out for that as we move on with our VESL Valorant Conference Quals here, though. It's Jiju, I think, trying to get these Guardian taps from mid to go, but they're going to be guarded away by a dark cover, so hanging out for a little bit. No, peeking through. Of course, they got a teammate covering bottom mid, top mid. A lot more mid action this time on this Ascent map, Hale.
Yeah, it's neat to see a lot more contention here out in mid. We got to see maybe a small dose of that in this matchup. Cheney is actually going to get shut down. Jeju finally gets at least one on Squiggle Bottom, but immediately a classic is going to bonk them out of existence. That Armot's going to tell on the universe, which really is at large, just so, apparent.
Last
As
player
they try
standing.
to swing on them, they're going to get taken
Spike
out by an
down
Ares.
mid.
That's a
30 seconds left.
double bit of coverage. D's will simply go for the Guardian. There's a 4v1 and then none. Nader finishes them off. Shout out, by the way, to Jeju. They are such a fan of solo leveling. They're also on a Korean agent. That is like extra lore meta, just like all the way down.
Shout out to that indeed. I was going to do an anti-shout out on the fact that I saw not one but 2 Ares in one round from green level. What an abomination of a gun. But,
Is that some hate?
It is. I'm proclaiming my Ares disdain, but I guess I have to become a believer because I put in work on that round for green level.
Yeah, look. Some of us are aimers and some of us are gamers. And gamers choose the right weapon, which happens to be the Ares. JJ's gonna force out the They're gonna break that door, and look at this 4-1 split though. This is what I like when we get out of Killjoys. Sentinels have a tough time acclimating to any kind of pushes, especially for Ascent. That's why you really gotta enable them to get on these lurks if they can get some big picks, if anyone gets a bit too antsy from these open spaces.
That's right. Especially as Jeju. I mean, with that Guardian fought for mid for so long. So it's fair to expect some mid engagements to occur, but they've already scaled up. Squiggle Bottom. If they remember the last round, they'll know from their teammates' comms that an alarm bot is right there. As indeed their doppelganger is keeping them a bit wayside of it. Meanwhile, though, it's full push. Finally on the B site, Paranoia is out, and Jeju does find one scaling in, and a second one with a headshot. How about a third? The Guardian giving everything it's got to deny Green Hope.
And Jeju absolute ferocity into that Guardian. You're only really good at that weapon if you can aim for the old skull, and apparently they have their aim in a great position. Green level right now is leveling Green Hope. This is a battle for who owns this color. And apparently, Green level is much more on the level than Hope is, as they
did
now
start
take
on the green side.
Yeah, it is green, right? It's not blue. Green? Yeah, that's green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Green enough.
So are you saying that they're a home field advantage because of the?
I would
being
say
on the
so,
green?
most
Okay.
certainly. And that's hope for Green Hope, right? Because in the second half, they'll move
Last
on.
player standing. Spike down A.
Two! 4 headshots on the spray of the Phantom. Piggy Lover's gotta crush the dreams and the hopes of Jiju, but that's already a highlight reel making play. Unbelievable. Do we have 2 highlight reel plays in 1 round, though? Piggy Lover, that's a second headshot they want to fight for this round. Sheriff headshot -2. How about 3? No! Expected the high-posted stance from Stork on the ridge of that wall, but taken down, and the work from Jiju isn't all for naught.
I already have my phone up because we're on a delay on the stream, and I want to see if one of those was a collat because I want to know. That is so aggressive with the Guardian and just stepping out from dark cover main.
Oh, that was a Phantom, wasn't it?
What was it, a Phantom? Oh, it was a Phantom. Look, they had a Guardian for like 3 rounds.
They did.
So I was just used to it. But just spraying them down, knowing that they had the eco advantage, that it was maybe going to be a no or just light shield situation, and taking on the numbers and just rending them limb from limb. So good looks right now for Green level. 4-0. And Nader all the way deep into wine. That owl drone never getting a chance to clear it, so they're going to be having Sidhu just play as decoy. But Jeju now finds their 10th kill already in 4 rounds.
Unbelievable. Holding down mid. Phantom sprays are working their magic, though. Chenny shows that it's just as available for their side.
Blocking sight.
There comes the push. It's well timed because that site is clear enough. Chenny moves in on their cloud burst on top of Generator now, peeking on every angle that there is. Hope. Definitely need to make sure that this plan works in their favor. Popping off the gen, though, is Chenny because they're getting wall banged off of it, holding this wall close now. Decision move through doorway has to be made by Green level. Is it well timed from Bees? Moving from Heaven. I think it is. Piggy Lover finds 2 from Heaven, though, so it's just that Sova left with the Odin. Holding from door. There's Heaven. There's Main for Stork to watch both. ADSing on that side, waiting for that peek to happen. Crawling through that dark cover, and no Chenny's in hell instead of Heaven. Surely that shock dart gets at least a bit of damage, but it won't matter. Chenny, off the information, peeks right through and drills their 3rd for the first round win of Green Hope.
Nice on the wide swing, recognizing that util was being thrown in, and Piggy Lover, this is a player that I've said it before of several different teams. Any team on any esport that has someone named Piggy, for some reason that player goes off. I don't know why. It's just kind of to the name. But Piggy Lover was able to give Cheney the best chance to just win on that next adaptation into hell. And that's a great look if you're Green Hope, but it's not great when you continue to look at the old scoreboard and recognize how much change and credits are in the back pockets of these Gators. Green level in such a strong position, and that Odin already back in hand off a dog play that just simply doesn't have to exist right now, because all this, at least current Congo line, is set up for a main. Because they got that first round, they feel more confident at least that this won't just be a complete wash.
You ever feel bad for a site when it gets no action? I mean, a B site I think was hit once out of these first 5 rounds, make it now 6. Gonna feel bad for Chenny if they don't get this opening pick. It was a lovely entry into the Cloudburst once again, this time not on top of the generator, but beside it. Has to clear hell. They clear the wrong side, and in the back of the head.
Spike
Chenny's gonna
planted.
find themselves dead. Ghosty Sidu eventually traded out by Piggy Lover. And as they get that base up in the sight, it is still treacherous as Nader crashes through that door immediately. All 3 from Green Hope shrouded behind the cover into main.
You have that Hunter's Fury. They're already using some grenades. That means they're going to get the bait onto that Hunter's Fury. They're going to use it encounter, but no, Shockdart won't make it all the way back. Top is taken out.
One
JJ
enemy remaining.
found them, and now simply look down and cloud, and if they can protect them, JJ finds a third onto Piggy Lover, who as soon as they cross the boundary are gonna cross beyond the nether in the veil of death. So in the first half, JJ continues to be that omen of death at 13-4. The rest of the squad simply supporting them while they can.
And I feel like we haven't even seen the best of Jeju, even though we got that 4K within 2 seconds, as well as those kills we just witnessed. Now they have the operator, so you only wonder what lethality is still yet to occur. We did get a DC there from Piggy Lover, so it's been a great half from them, but we're going to need to see them rejoin game before we get into the next round. But at this point, you've got to wonder what Green Hope have to do to rebound in this scenario. I almost want to see them kind of poke and prod other areas of this map, because early on, Hail Monkey Man, Green Hope loved to kind of nitpick at mid, maybe get that alarm bot to bounce and make sure that Green Level is more spread out. Recently, though, it's been a full A hit, so we're starting to see that balance on the attack side of different sides as they try to find which way will be the gap through the defense.
It is so
Get out of my way.
interesting as well to see how things have changed up since the fall, going into what is, you know, just the first map for qualification standards. That's gonna be a tiny little pixel for Jeju to get rid of Piggy Lover. That was wild.
Bomb down as well, so it isn't just the pixel found by Jeju, but it's also the spike. So that original plan from Green Hope to say, okay, let's spread out, just try to find a way to go, it crumbles. And that foundation begins to erode. So that one piece of information now gathered by Green Level. It is an orb gathered, though, by Top, so one more step closer to that Hunter's Fury, which almost won them that last round. Trying to deny the spike defuse, but Stork, he escalates that entry from their doppelganger, takes them down with the Odin spray, which is all too powerful on that B side.
Google Bottom has a chance to do something funny, but it depends on whether or not Jeju knows that there's danger close or not. They've been pretty crazy with this op at this point in time. That's going to be an alarm
30
bot that they
seconds
simply
left.
can pass by. Stork
Oh,
and again, doing something funny. They're laughing me
Last
great.
player
They can actually
standing.
pick up a weapon, but no. Now simply flashing, but they get him off of the fragment. 17 seconds left. Universe has a spike. They can get a plant, and they can play for defense.
Not what I expected whatsoever. Universe with this Odin has to play this perfectly. That's the KO knife down, but Nader pushes with it. So Universe decoyed one way. Nader, the bullets fly into the back of the KO, and that's yet another round for Green Level.
Oh, that was beautiful. That's how you have to draw so much focus by Universe when they're going for that heroic moment. And I'm gonna give a lot of love over to Squiggle Bottom. They played that timing so well, waiting for the op presence to separate itself into market. And if they don't land that next position or the next shot, especially if they're still just hard wielding the op, they're just gonna get got by a classic. And it had hope, and you know it was Green Hope. They had a moment, but it's still been a very advantageous position. We go to another rifle round, and I gotta think right now, Pyro, if we don't get Green Level, you know, unseated from their pedestal here, Green Hope may just not have a chance going into the next half.
Initiated.
That's maybe this is a round to bounce back. Squiggle Bottom immediately sets that lockdown into place, and it appears to be the decision of Green Level to play retake. Maybe the From the Shadows or the Hunter's Fury comes out early to allow for them to do that, but with the door crashing down, the util set up,
Here.
Green Hope
Spike planted.
are definitely trying to get this round to work in their favor. They are going to take care of that drone as Ghosty decides when to push through.
Yeah, that Hunter's Fury is rather than lockdown down. They're gonna have that quick flash underhanded, and now they're gonna crash in from tree using that 0.9 to try and neutralize a lot of those abilities. Do they? It's gonna be shaded deep within the dark cover, and now they're upgrading some of this weaponry. And Piggy Lover, Mr. Squigglebottom, finally now traded. They have one
Last
from
player
distance.
standing.
It's a 2v2.
One
It's a
enemy
2v1.
remaining.
Xenu, oh, they have a new chest cavity hole to breathe through as Piggy Lover comes up huge, the lone survivor. Finally, Green Hope stepping up to the plate.
Not just a few operator kills, that is revenge from Piggy Lover, and the former round going down as the first blood to the operator of Jeju. Now, the operator pulled out on the defense, or at least defending the spike to be defused. Piggy Lover held that angle out through main on the spike defuse, just took one down after the other. Well executed on by Green Hope, and now that rebound's starting to come alive.
Scanning ahead.
It's all of a single round, but Green Level definitely needs to just kind of stay
Right here.
focused. Sell out initially. Stork is going to find no value. Really cool skin on that, by the way. I love that Odin, but as magical as that was, they don't find any connection. So that gives away that there is a hard-held Odin outside of B main, and Squiggle Bottom waiting to dance against anyone that's going to come out from Tree. Any intel, but they're gonna lose this against Jeju, who's taking damage and waited very patiently for that incursion.
Yeah, cheeky spot there for Jeju to be positioned. It worked out really well.
Blocking sight.
Activation though on the site, holds that switch, puts that door down, and though the fragment came out, it didn't quite catch them. Chenny a bit too quick to move, but not too quick for the Odin spray. Taken down and holding the line is Stork onto the B side, pushing through the market, getting the kill is Nader, and that is gonna be just what they need. Deezrick follows up with the kill as well, trades out Jeju, and Green Level, well, they push that seesaw right back onto their side.
Oh man, and that's also going to force Green Hope into another kind of pickle of how do they buy, what do they buy, what do they want to do. You don't have the Blade Storm, so looking at a Stinger, looks like they're going to try and force up, maybe have a hero rifle, and some of that may come about. And I'm not too surprised that we're not seeing more timeouts. I wish we were seeing more of them, simply to kind of plan out these next ideas, because Green Hope is they've been able to swing with individual plays for rotating, but nothing in difference that seems like it was a set play, Pyro. And I feel like they're playing more separate than apart, even if they're grouped.
My ult is ready.
I feel that way. Maybe separated is not the way to go. Jenny caught lacking watching main, and if you want to hold a spot like that, you've got to have at least one person looking mid or util set up on tile. That is a piercing vulnerability to leave lying. Situation like that, Blade Storm out, but nothing found. Jeju was a great kill at first, but that aim just did not work out against Universe, head tapping with the Sheriff. Now we're even 4v4, so solid response as mid-space gathered here by Green Hope. The Universe, oh, the swing on the Nader! And the advantage set for them of a great couple from Universe.
You lose your jet machine and you gain the universe, I guess. Just a crispy headshot. Piggy Lover refuses to
30
die
seconds
without
left.
taking someone with them. They find Stork on that presence. They're going to TP into sight, which really is just kind of the most raw deep you can do into that position. That's going to be 0 points, and Piggy Lover gets rid of it, so...
One enemy remaining.
Oh, it's Squiggle on them. Off of this counter, they're just off of the flank. They have no idea they're behind them.
I think that the KO and Market threw the grenade at themselves as the door came down. I can't, say that for sure, but yeah, nothing was working out there for the retake of Green Level. They were caught up in Market. Certainly didn't see that flank coming. It might have been one of the weirdest rounds on Ascent that I've ever witnessed, Hell Monkey Man, especially with free mid space being granted to Jeju. And then the opposite jet just going down immediately.
Yeah, it was peculiar to say the least. And we have a strange buy. It's a mostly Stinger situation, and you have that one way, which I think a lot of the players on Green Hope have been like, you know what? No, we're not gonna go into this. This is ridiculous, because this thing's coming down into a little swing. They're gonna actually show their hand. Nader's gonna walk on up, back on up, trying to re-engage. They get it in one, maybe two, and a third not to happen. Universe will take them out eventually. That's a couple of big rifles now out of the way, and that becomes a 4v3. They do have a retake plan if they want to. The no plan as well as the lockdown and Hunter Spears that want to default or deny default are all online for green level, even playing with this eco disadvantage.
And they've got a flank as well in their jet. Fragment out on the 5 HP. Ghosty gonna find a couple here on the 0 point as well. Frenzy out to play. Already a kill for Ghosty Sidu, and somehow still a life to work with. Almost gotta wonder how that's even available. The shock dart's gonna be out to take out a bit of top, but responding with the Odin is top. Now, there's one to clear out from wide of Jiju. There's one. Make it two! Jiju finds a couple and just one remaining out from Green Hope. The defuse begins. It gets half. And they're down from in hell. So if you played off spawn, maybe the Hunter's Fury would have come in, but fighting off more than they could chew was Green Hope on that round.
Last
Green
round
level
in the half.
finds themselves with just one away from that 9-3.
Oh, what a huge round there as well, because that was the pivot point really, because this could have gone into instead being a 7-4 with a fifth very possible, considering the green level actually fought into that previous. But now we go to our final round, final rifles in hand for the first half, and 8-4 is still a conceivable venture here for Green Hope. They had one of the woulda, coulda, shoulda to go the other way previously, but an aggressive stance off of that center play, especially creating that runway, really came out the right place for the Gators. Now Cheney over there to land something on it. They actually have the Hunter Spirit. They're running it very aggressive. They see a robot dancing in front of them, and 8th sight now opened up.
Got with the knife out. That's gonna hurt. Nader though, able to give a response to at least allow for green level to get something going here. Final round. Zerk does find one from heaven. Nader, his play from tree could be vital, but they're gonna make sure they get their smokes out first. Paranoia into hell to allow Dzeric to start to scale up through heaven. And the cloud burst ends up going down by Jenny. Now there's just two alive. Making one. Fork the last left again, and ends up getting decimated. Green Hope survive off that last round win and turn this around to a new half.
8-4 ain't bad, considering the streak that we saw. A 4-1, a 6-1, honestly, to start off this half, and recovering on the back and forth kind of executions that we got before. 16-8. Piggy Lover is willing this team forward, just finding big picks to open up moments and then seeing what they can pivot away from what Squiggle Bottom as well as Universe and Top have even had their individual moments. But Jeju on the other side at 18-9. Everyone mostly positive or even KD. That's the key player. That's the basically the early mini boss of this entire map. Let's go into this first round of this next half.
Yeah, there's more than just the objective to plant the spike. There's the objective to take down Jeju, but Jenny wants to be just as lethal on the jet. Getting that opening pick here from Green Hope at main. And that makes main pretty dangerous as Ghosty Sidu just takes a look, takes a peek, maybe even takes a whiff of what's going on. Would love to pick up that ghost if possible. I believe was able to retain it. So now Nader peeking out from heaven is able to clear wine, and maybe with this amount of noise and getting that dark cover before the detainment is gonna help them sell this A hit. That spike's still at mid, so green level options are available.
They pulled 2 away on that rotate, and if they can learn that very quickly, then they'll be able to at least put some pressure out here in the tree by
Spike
Universe
down
not
mid.
letting them in. Get rid of their BattleBot compatriot, and Top does the same thing against Nader. So now, from this place of advantage, this defense for Green Hope very strong. A 5v2.
One enemy remaining.
You have, well, now
Spike
all of
down
a single
mid.
remaining. Jeju versus the world. They're separated from Spike that's out here in mid.
30
it's supposed to be
seconds
covered
left.
by a lot of separate players, and they're going to try and hunt them down, just give them too many targets to have to go and hit the ground, and they're going to run out of bullets very swiftly. Flawless round here for Green Hope. I'm not going to call it a comeback yet, but that's a great first step.
It is. And you know how they orchestrated it. We talked about earlier the objective being take out Jeju, but the alternative is taking out everyone but Jeju, and then they're in a 1v4 that they just can't win. So finding ways around this this flow stated Jeju is going well so far for green level. We're gonna see that typical first 3 rounds of Valorant half start to go. Chenny's on that outlaw, so could really do that first blood damage once again, looking from tree. It doesn't look like that's where green level will go. They're going to start out from main on the B side.
I think there's a lot of recognition that that kind of outlaw, that purchase is going to be made. Even if it were just a Marshall, you would shy away from mid off of that. That recon dart's going to find nothing, by the way. And I wonder how much they kind of recognize to that. But Green Hope depends on where they find this rotate, because off of the Sheriff, Jeju's not able to land anything. They have the tailwind simply to walk themselves through mid with an escape rope, and now they walk it in with a dark cover to maybe at least confirm getting a spike plant. That would be huge. Walk away for at least a whole point. That'd be massive. They know this would be a escape. Oh, Nader just simply left click spams, making sure to get a trade.
Jenny tried bailing them out and just couldn't get there in time. Ends up with the kill and the agent advantage at 4-3 on this retake, but definitely the damage done, as you mentioned, with the off point, as well as the kills. Fork with one bullet couldn't take it down Deesrick, but Deesrick finds a kill instead. And Jeju, no surviving against the Aries from Piggy Lover out in Boathouse. So, Green Hope, how about another to add to the tally as they get the advantage on the second half?
Decently strong
no, you don't
bonus
deserve
round
my
position right there.
calling my
Well, actually, I guess the bonus round will be on this next turn, but hey, anti-eco coming into it, so you only drop one. You're not really gonna force the buy into it. Maybe a light shield to see what you can do with it. Top is gonna get bought a Sheriff, and they can rely on a lot of that extra util to cover down for them. And now, green level. This is the moment here, Pyro. If they let too strong of a bonus happen for Green Hope, or if they lose this round, then all momentum, all air in those sails has been stolen, and Green Hope will go streaking.
That's right. In terms of momentum, this is a very important round. Not being able to get the kill there was Chenny, but on the other side, Piggy Lover did find a kill with the Aries. So already Green Hope trying to keep that momentum on their side. Nader responds, though, with a late trade against Piggy Lover. Tied up with agents on this site hit. Chenny, this is a very dangerous position to be, especially with that drone seeking you out. Here comes the recon dart as well. Chenny able to get that kill off before getting sighted, but can't find. Fork on the rebound effort with that outlaw. Has to take time to rebound and reload from Generator. And reloaded they have. Chenny again. 1, 2, 3, and the round win.
Oh my gosh, and they're gonna get a free upgrade of the Outlaw over to the Vandal. Wow, that's just so impressive. Chenny just not shying away from any of that contact, just hanging out, knowing that Piggy Lover initially had them covered, and here's a timeout. This is exactly what I was, kind of afraid of for green level, because this is a mirror matchup, Pyro. This is do unto thee. I can do it even better going into the second half. And Green Hope, this was the toughest opponent for the Gators to overcome going into that semifinal in the state championships. They have gotten right back into championship form. This is a great contest to really kind of set the tone and set the pace for their qualifier run. And Green Level was given everything they have, but now they've turned it on its head.
You mentioned they could do the same, and maybe Green Level's wondering, dang, why didn't we get an outlaw for that round 3 as well? Like, ended up working out pretty darn well. So given that fact, and during this timeout, I think one of the greatest difficulties right now for Green Level as Green Hope start to work their way back is economy. Of course they can try to strategize around these buys and whether they want to buy for next round or start to invest here, but Green Hope, with their perceived win in this next round, their economy is just going to scale out of proportion.
Oh, it will. And they're going to... Is it going to be the Stinger run it down situation? Oh, it's a Stinger run it down. Okay, all right.
I like it.
You sit at the pro level. It was heck of meta for a long time at the early portion of last year before they made it more expensive. And now it's just going into the fray. Top is just going to hold down left click and take a crouch as you're able to find that Aries with more value than a Stinger and those 9mm bullets that sit in the well of them. But they've taken at least over B side for the moment. Able to get a play. Top to try and lead with a shot dart. One enemy. Jeju falls just the same, and they spam through the wall. And Aries, you can hate on all you want, but it's great suppressing fire.
I will still hate on it. I will. You know, you think about when Valor was announced, they're like, it's a very tactical shooter, and then just go span over the top, left to right, right to left, spraying with this Ares. What am I looking at? I'm looking at success. Green Hope, 4 rounds in a row. The Stinger surprise wasn't what it needed to be, despite GG's speed running their way to A site with that updraft dash combination. Just couldn't find that round to win. But part of that strategy, part of that timeout, part of what they talked about was the fact that they can rebound on this next round, get full shields, rifles, and start again.
Do they make this read though? Oh, they put the dark cover down. That is huge because there's an op in the middle of the entire map, and they've got to understand that there's a lot of cash in the back pockets. So cannot let them get that op moving too well. They will rotate. It's going to dump into the tree, and they have to separate from this tree hit because of the fragment. There's a few options available to them that they are able to at least peek beyond the dark cover. They may rocket into mid, but Chenny is going to take over that space. This is the power weapon that you have to sidestep through, and if they do this, oh boy. Now this two immediately off the table as C2 and Nader are going to hit the respawn bench.
Anything you can do, I can do better. We saw Juju with that operator on defense, this time with a Vandal in the start cover. Just saying, Universe, go ahead. I dare you. Crawl through the start cover. We're saying the same. Go ahead and fight me and fight. They will, and they get the better of it. 2 kills to 1. Universe did their work, and that's all that was needed. Tree is but a maze for Stork to try to find their way out of. And not finding their way out of this rampage of a half is Green Level.
Green Level are the mice, Green Hope are the scientists, and they are able to design everything from above on high. And here's the problem now. You're talking about the eco. We are constantly going to be seeing them contend into these thrifty situations, maybe light buys. I see a lot of stingers again. It didn't work last time, guys, and I hate seeing a Spectre in the mix. There is a hero rifle there. Cheney has moved. Oh, but they're going to get paranoid. That's a great combination to make sure to immediately take away.
Spike down B.
Because the operator is still alive and loud. They don't know exactly where it's going to be. Cheney's going to back all the way up. Deep on B side, waiting to receive, but Kansas City went out for this duel. They forced the first shot. They know they're deep down in distance.
So do they move off that, or do they crash on it? Ghosty trying to hold market, does so well, and the classic 3-round burst takes care of the rest of the health that's left. And this is going to be it for Green Level. They're finally going to be able to rebound, unless Mr. Squigglebottom beat that difference maker. Still full HP on heavy shield. And of course, 1 on the side of Green Level, just about off their entire HP. Presence known. As the alarm bot is taken down. Oh, and Squigglebottom had a nano swarm to work with, but we will not have that swarm see the light of day. Operator takes care of business.
I love how close this is, Pyro. Both these teams could have been in a big situation going into a grand final, semifinal just a couple of months ago. And the fact that there's been a lot of improvement, especially because Green Level working on to Ascent. This is the true measure of any good team, considering how well practiced and well known it is. Look at how Deez is at least kind of showcasing, all right, this is an option. They do have a hunter, well, no Hunter's Fury. They have a no command to create space. They have a lockdown to create space, and they don't have a Hunter's Fury to counteract either. So would be interesting to see if that becomes a set play in just the next little bit.
As a KJ main, I am almost positive Deezrick needed to put that on top of the building. But that's okay. Still, the sites still work. The circuits won't break. What you have to keep in mind is Green Level, although they won that round, there's still so much work to do. That's why we talked about the economy scaling and how it's still well in the favor of Green Hope. Crosshair looked to be just what Shenny needed. Couldn't land the shot. Green Level doing a good job of not being the victim of the first blood. Universe trying to find it here with the fragment out. Trying to guard tree. Knows that attack. And that entry is happening. Shot is step heard. Cover watched. Spam does occur, but he's not finding anything. Pushed out by the alarm bot. The reload's there. Nader wants to push on it and ends up finding it. Nader with the first kill, immediately traded, but the entry's occurred and the spike is down.
Spike planted.
Jenny for the immediate ADS side swipe. Seeing if they can swing that baseball bat of an operator straight to the face of that Sova. But now you have this situation. They're going to use use that null command. They're gonna shut down a lot of these retake abilities, but it
One
just
enemy
is
remaining.
gun game play. Piggy Lover finds 2. Top gets Sea-Doo, and it becomes a 1v4. Stork cannot swing alone, and that's Jenny that puts Green Hope right back on top. They find double digits first.
And again, that round win from Green Level, it was a couple good hits, but it was far from a knockout blow. You've got Green Hope buying Operator and Odin in that past round and rifles to accompany the rest of the agent. It's going to be difficult every round to get past these guys, and with that Operator kill and with the crash through tree being denied Green Hope, they just do better here to hold on. A lot of operators on hand as well. Green Level, if they play around this lockdown, they got to be wary of that Hunter's Fury. It is B site. Ends up being the push with that drone.
You should run. Operators nearby. Stork simply follows them. You're revealing and just ready to go. There they are. Fury used indifference, and they're actually just standing on the sword grenade. Jenny waiting for anyone to come and meet them. Oh, they're gonna right click and then get dipped by the Phantom. Just an opposite. It's a 3v1 because the Battlebot is down.
Spike
But
down.
it's oh my goodness, they're gonna try and put the dart cover down and go and get their teammate. They can actually force the res, but they're not gonna. They simply complete the run. An 11 for Green Hope.
What a sell! I'm selling the image of Piggy Lover, dark cover, shot at step with the res, and then using it all as bait. Sold that story on a silver platter and ended up retaking the best way possible when Piggy Lover's on the map. The round isn't quite over for Green Level. Green Hope, a massive round win as they could be on that spree to the finish line.
Oh man. Green Hope have really turned on the afterburners here, recognizing that, you know, for this mirror comp, what you simply got to do, the diff for the side of Green Level is Jeju and what they've been able to at least find defensively, but people get to go to you when you're on defense. Offensively, it's been tougher calls to really kind of dictate some of that space. Universe has been such a key anchor point here to victory, basically an impenetrable fortress off of this robot of KO, and that's a great first pick, really taking away his opposition and his twin. The Universe is going to rotate, and they're going to try and make sure no one can go deep insurgency here into spawn.
Oh, I think Universe knows that Stork is there. Stork, cheeky position to hold, and Nader, that's not very safe, but avoiding that Operator. Maybe there is still a chance here for Green Level in this round. 2v3. Nader's teammate on very low HP, trying to crash into sight and get that plant, able to get Chenny down. Both of them now in sight on the 2v2. And as we mentioned earlier, that Piggy Lover
Spike
still
planted.
in market. So Green Hope,
One
will they
enemy
rest
remaining.
all the weight on his shoulders again? Top finds a kill with that Odin wall bang. Spree right on the Nader's teammate. Now Nader, 1v2. Holding this angle, has to watch Speedway. That's where Green Hope are scaling up. They've already done so. Paranoia lands. And Nader,
One enemy
sidestepping
remaining.
quietly, gets the first one. Has to find the second on top and gets it. 1v2 clutch from Nader. 3 kills to hold on for Green Level.
The clutch up by Nader. They, 2 different times, I think you and I probably were squinting at the fact that they just TP'd into open space and did not die. But sometimes you just have to pull the ripcord and go. Figure out what's gonna happen later, and what a moment of heroics to keep Green Level in it. The problem on the other side of it is there's not a lot of cash. They're gonna be buying some rifles. They're gonna have one Guardian in the mix of a full rifle set, but some of these low shields is gonna really be indicative of what kind of utility they're bringing to the fight as well. They're gonna try and rush it down, bring some of this fight very quickly over to B as they take over site, but top is just pressing left on the whole Odin.
You can smoke all you want. You can play your set play as you wish, but that Odin on Ascent is threatening. They still get the plant, but they're down an agent here for Green Level. They still work up on this, especially with Jeju. Holding market, they're definitely gonna find one. Oh, that's not the time to
player
pull the knife
standing.
out. That's not the time to look away. Jeju down, and Ghosty the last remaining. Green Hope tear through as they're 1 away now from the win.
That's so unfortunate. Timing is, I would say, more than 50% of Valorant. Much of this game is a puzzle, and sometimes you just need to hold a sight line. You're going to go
Match
into a
point.
1v2 cross regardless, but staring at a door, I don't think is the best. It just ends up being rough. 29-11 is Piggy Lover. That has been the biggest MVP of Green Hope to get them right in, and they've only allowed 2 rounds won in Green Level in this half.
Keep an eye out for it. That potential 30 bomb coming out from Piggy Lover. I think they're more focused, though, on the 1 tally on the scoreboard. The 1 left to get this win away from Green Level. That operator line's been held for the past few rounds. Nobody's really toyed with tile. Look at what Green Level has been doing. B main, B main, B main. Considering the 3-0-2 split, they may try to sell an A hit to push people off B and make sure that they don't get sprayed by an Odin when they enter. And well, so far it's working out. And that's Sova moving right off the site, but their KO very slyly moving through tiles. Juju trying to sell this, does get scanned by the knife, gets crowded out. And Hail Monkey Man, this is a good time for Green Level to push on B site. They're just not doing it.
They've made this pull before. They've gotten the forced rotate of Green Hope onto A on these same plays. Oh, and Squiggle Bottom finds Nader just simply trying to enter sideways, but as they sachet, they will also be dead for a bit longer. This could be the beginning of the end. 40 seconds remain. Green Level has to get to a site. Pick a site. Pick anything. A great wall bang by Jeju to keep this one going as well. As Universe will drop. That actually opens up tree, but they're going to just go for B.
30 seconds left.
He's got to be the hit here. If you're Green Level, there's no other decision to make here. That Odin's still holding it, though, from top. And wow, it's actually Mr. Squiggle Bottom to get the kill instead. Scanned his Stork. He moves down fast lane, tries to get the drone out in time to spot 1. Squiggle Bottom is spotted, and he moves back into market, evading the Guardian. Taps top, gets a kill on the shock dart. That's going to be a big one for them. Juju gets the pick, but is traded out by top. And now there's just 1 remaining Stork. Can they get all 3? Not quite. Lockdown initiated. Retake done. And final defuse in progress. Green Hope make the comeback against Green Level.
Champions will not be denied.
Defenders
they were
win.
able to get it done in the semis of states last time, and this time it was a much wilier set of Gators that was taking them on. Lessons learned and good looks, but it simply were the champs that were able to take it in this 13-10 debut of the spring qualifier. Pyro, what a comeback for the squad over there in Green Hope.
How about it? You know, we thought Juju was the ultimate force to be reckoned with, the undeniable, but then Piggy Lover decided to muck around in the mud and to ask their Green Level foes to find out. And indeed, they did. I don't know, did Piggy Lover get that 1 kill for the 30 bomb?
There was 3 Squiggle Bottom. There
Sure.
was...
May have, may not have. We'll check the tape later on. But whether it's 29 or 30, Hale, big presence from Piggy Lover, and definitely a team that is outfitted to make a deep run as we're only starting out here with the group stage.
Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic, I guess, preamble, a nice little appetizer for everyone here for VESL as these spring qualifiers over into regionals are just kicking off. So it's been fantastic to be with you here, Pyro, as we get to see all the talent resurge as they've learned from their previous competitions of the fall. But I think that's all that we have today. There's a lot of VESL channels, by the way. If you guys want to see all the VODs, this was just Wake. There's 10 other conferences of competition. You can just check it out at VESL GG here on YouTube and be able to just look at all the different lives that were live at the same time. And I want to give some love over to our awesome producer. I believe it is Brian, or is it DeFreak? Either way, that the great gang over here that's able to put on a great show. And of course, yourself, Pyro, for inviting me over. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, I wouldn't be in the Valorant Co-Caster seat if I didn't know I had Hail Monkey Man by my side. A lot of work done here for VESL for the start of the group stage of our 45,000 tournament here. The Valorant Conference Qualifiers begins today and moves through this month. Catch us on Wednesdays for these conference streams. Check out everywhere on @VESLGG on YouTube to check out your team and your peers around the whole state of North Carolina as these high school teams compete for those big winnings. Thank you to everybody so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And from myself, Pyro J, and from Hail Monkey Man by my side, we'll see you next time.